Hello, hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can't. I'm pretty sure actually you couldn't hear that. No, I can't. Hopefully everything's alright out there. Just wanted to jump on and do a little warm-up kind of thing, or chat if there's anyone around. If you want to talk about anything you can. So, just using the FM3 at the moment. Hey Sam. Let's just change these shifts up to just an octave. Maybe, and hey Steve. Lenny was actually in Totnes yesterday. Yeah, I'm wearing glasses so that I can see the screen because I'm stood up away from the monitor. You doing an exercise? Hey Dave. So, does anyone want to talk about anything? I just thought it's been like a year that I've had the FM3, I think now. And the crazy thing about it is, I feel like I still haven't really even touched the edges of what it could do. Lunch at the Key, which restaurant or whatever? I love the FM3 too, sorry, just dropped that. Right, does anyone want to talk about anything? Yeah, where did you go for food, Steve? I do think it's a really good unit for the money. I know there's some sort of naysayers who say it's underpowered, but like this preset's got a volume pedal, 2 delays, an amp. Is that double cab? No, just a single cab. And then plex delay, multi-tap delay, a reverb, and then the out. So it's like, what, 4 or 5 delays and reverbs? The Prospect, okay. Oh yeah, so Bobby, what I'm using is I've got a digital stereo delay, an ambient stereo delay. That's doing this freeze part. If you hear that. And then I've got a plex delay which is doing the shift. And then I've got a multi-tap delay doing something else. And then the reverb, I guess, is the Nimbus Stratus. Yeah. So quite a lot going on. I don't know, can I turn on the ultra res cab on this? Probably not, because it's legacy. Yeah. Personally, that input impedance thing, for a few people, I suggest that it kind of causes problems in some ways with the Helix. It can produce some effects which I guess are difficult to understand what's going on. So, you know, like if you've got a fuzz face at the front of your signal chain and it's not on, that still creates kind of the effects that a real fuzz face would have on your tone. So for some people that would potentially be quite negative. I've not really had an issue with the fixed impedance stuff. Similarly, the Podco has fixed impedance. Are the effects the same in the FM3 and Axe FX3? Or is there a difference? So the difference is that they're on different update kind of schedules. So I don't know how far behind we are on the FM3. The other difference is there's things like the vocoder that's missing. There's little bits and pieces that the FM3 doesn't have that the Axe FX3 will have. So there's things that will never come across. Is it overkill to be using the FM3 as just a cab IR loader? Absolutely, that would be overkill, I would say. To me, I think one of the best things about the Fractal stuff is the delays and reverbs. I don't know, as a cab loader, it can do dual 180, as in the ultra res cab is like 180 milliseconds, I think, or 170. So if you were just doing cab loading, then maybe something like the Strymon Iridium can do dual 500 milliseconds, so you could consider that and save yourself a bit of money if that's literally all you're wanting to use it for. Since I've had it, there have not really been any gigs, Northern Vibrations, so I can't say that I do, really. Right, so I was watching a chap called Rotem Savan, if you've not heard of him, and he was showing his kind of arpeggio approach, 2-note per string thing, so I've been sort of adopting this as a warm-up. So if you don't mind, I'll do a little bit of it. I'll just kind of explain it as I go, if I can. So we're in A, I'm choosing as the root note here. I did G the day before yesterday, and then A flat yesterday. So today is A. Yeah, Dave, I'll fire over. This one's Ice Ease, I think. You'll need an expression pedal to get the freeze stuff. What's it called? Cleans to freeze, ice ease. Or cleans to ice ease. In terms of I really like just the clean tone of it as well, but that's just I think it's just a twin. Fender double verb, normal. Yeah, and then cab, I'm using basket weave, I think. Yeah, the Legacy Cab 1. It's not exactly a complicated preset, except for the delay and reverb things. You've decided to buy the FM3 over the QC. Few issues raised in the Facebook group, like freeze and weird noise coming out constantly. Not sure about. I haven't seen that stuff, but I don't know if you're in Europe or where you are, but in Europe, Susie at G66, they've got really, really good customer service. So if you do get any issues, I wouldn't worry about it because they will replace it. Similarly, I think with Quad Cortex, there have been a few issues and stuff, but again, it seems like they're quite hot on just dealing with the issue and replacing units at the moment. So, I mean, so where was I? Yeah, 2 note per string stuff. So feel free to ask questions about anything else. I'm just doing this because I wanted to kind of just show off this little tone a little bit. The latest beta firmware. Oh yeah, there's a problem. The output 2 seems a little bit broken with the latest beta firmware. Do I use external foot switches? I use an external expression pedal, but I've not really felt the need to use. There is an FC6 which you could use with it, but personally I don't do that. So A major 7. So that's the idea, and Roten was saying that he likes to use these 2 note per string shapes, so you end up with an A, C sharp, E, G sharp, A. I don't think you'll regret getting an FM3 personally. Like I say, there's loads and loads and loads in the unit, and even like a year later, I don't really feel like I've scratched the surface of what's in there. Initially, you might have a feeling of it's a bit overwhelming. That's me personally, or like maybe you'll probably need to read a manual for it. I would suggest you'll get more out of it that way. But it took me a while when I first got it to kind of make sound out of it, because I was kind of stubborn. I thought I won't read a manual, but you know, the Fractal way of doing things is quite different to anything else. So once you've cracked that, and once you've got the idea of how they set things out, I think you'll be fine. It's just there's a little bit of a learning curve. You won't have that with the Quad Cortex so much. There's not as much of a learning curve, particularly if you come from like a Helix, because that's the UI that they seem to have been inspired by. You'll probably be fine with that, I would have guessed, but ultimately I think at the moment the FM3 offers more value for money, I would suggest. Maybe, I don't know, but your view may differ. I don't, when did you place your QC order and then cancel it? So then he talks about these doubles. I've had the Axe FX3 way less, so that's a loan from G66. Incredible piece of gear, to be honest. But at the moment, yeah, I don't know, there's a lot that the FM3 could do. So, yeah, if you're considering it, then I feel like the FM3 is really quite good value for money. I don't know, compared to, so the Axe is what, $2.5 grand. Do I ever use a powered? I've got a power cab, and that's the idea. I want to try that when gigs are a thing. So I'll try that with the FM3. I'll try that with the Helix and the HX Stomp. But at the moment, that's not really been the way that I've been able to gig. Normally, I was carrying a PA with me as well. So with the HX Stomp and stuff, I've had to take it straight to front of house. I haven't had space for an additional monitor. But that's kind of on the list of things that I want to try when gigs come back. You know, I want to try gigging the FM3 and the Helix and stuff with, you know, a full range flat response monitor. So that would be the power cap. I've also got a Seymour Duncan power stage. Yeah, it responds really well too. I'm listening to it with headphones now. So one thing, I don't know, Dave, if you've got your QC handy, could you try this? Because I was experimenting with the headphone output of the Quad Cortex downstairs with the power cab, and I found it had like this white noise on kind of everything. I don't know if that's the same for you, if you try that through some other kind of monitor. Basically the headphone output sounded significantly worse and like degraded compared to the normal output. That's not the case with the FM3. MC6 go well with the FM3. I don't, which is the MC6 one? Is that an older one? I don't know. I use the FM3 more than I use the Kemper, yes. But I would say they're roughly kind of similarly capable. You know, both can only do single amps. Both have really nice delays and reverbs. And yeah, I think, yeah, at the moment, a Kemper and FM3 roughly, I would say, quite similar in kind of what you can do with them. Although, actually, saying that, the signal chain in the FM3 is way more flexible than the Kemper, and you could do many parallel paths. So yeah, in terms of sounds it can make, I guess it's pretty similar to the Kemper, or some of the limitations like the single amp stuff. Right, anyway, then he talked about how about feel. So yeah, it feels good. I think a lot of people like the way that Fractal stuff feels because there's like a bias-ish towards lower end kind of heft, and that ends up sort of feeling like you're moving air, is basically the way I can kind of describe it. So you can do that with like the Helix if you use your EQ and stuff, or whatever. No, Dave, what I mean is, so if you literally plug into the headphone output with your monitors, or whatever you used, I found that it kind of had a pretty, like a white noise kind of thing going along with it. It's like pretty degraded signal. What are you not getting on with the Helix? Any amp model in the FM3 that cleans up and responds well if volume is rolled down? Yeah. Let me just switch this out for like a Lone Star. Well, or my favourite, I guess, would be the Trainwreck. If I find one of those. Be a bit loud. So like this one. So that's the So there you go, that's the Liverpool Bright. The feel, high-end fizz everywhere. So what have you tried though? What kind of amps are you using? What kind of tones are you going for? Great. Yeah, you're hearing direct audio into the interface, Enzo, and you're also hearing a bit of webcam audio of just the direct guitar. So I'm trying to do A-7 flat 5. In terms of actually using it as an interface versus the HX Stomp, I'd say I can do everything about twice as quickly with the HX Stomp, but that is partly down to me like using that more. Yeah, what kind of difference are we talking about? I guess it doesn't really... I hear, you know, plenty of people who don't have experiences with the Helix which are positive. Obviously I don't work for Line 6, so it doesn't matter. Did you get on with the Kemper of Ovu? No? What Fender would I recommend if you play Music Man and Ibanez? I would maybe try, I think the best bang for buck is if you could find a second hand American Vintage reissue. If I try stacking dirt pedals in front of the FM3, I think there's a video where I did that. Soon after I got it, I think I did that. What's that buzz? I think I did that. It takes pedals well. Yeah, I would say. Hey. Yeah, I understand that the profiles thing has got to be quite an expensive way to go about doing things, I feel. But you'd be able to get a second-hand Kemper at the moment quite cheap, I'd imagine. So what we got? We got an A, a C, an E flat, a G, an A, a C, an E flat, a G, an A, a C, an E flat, G. A G, an E flat, a C, an A. It's hard to concentrate on two things. G, E flat, C, A. Well, it's in the country, Sam, but FedEx are doing FedEx things. It was supposed to get here like on Monday or Tuesday, apparently. Straight out of the box, Will. I think you pressed enter too early. I have to say, with the Kemper Helix stuff, I think once you get used to the sound of a particular thing as well, you can. So things don't, or a lot of things like the Kemper, some of the tones on that don't, for me, kind of feel or sound quite right to play. Versus when I play the Helix, that's kind of where I feel home most of the time now. But the Fractal stuff as well, I really like. Straight out of the box, how good are the presets on the FM3? Any good? Do you want me to try some? Let me go and if I just let's go all the way back. Back this way. We'll start at 1 and move on, shall we? Right, so for each of these I'm going to have to change the old. So this is 59 bass guy. Cranked. Okay, so then here's the dry one. Okay, then let's move on. If anyone's got any suggestions, like Sam Brock says, play the Blade Runner preset. If you tell me where it is, I can do that. But without telling me that, I'm going to have to try and find it, which will take a while. So if you've got any kind of sounds that you want to hear, Adrian, just let me know, because I can try and find. So this is 65 bass guy. See, what I think is that people, you know, I'm not saying you're wrong about anything, but the digital fizz thing is present in any real amp. And you can certainly get fizzy stuff out of a Kemper. Right. Let's just move on to Deluxe Verb. Discard. Plexi. Right. Plexi, 50 watt. And if we got cab wise, I think it comes with a Brit 70s. Is there a really good Alan Holdsworth tone in there? I'll have a look for one. What else have we got? 1987X. That's quite a nice kind of glassy. So that's a kind of cool plexi tone. I saw there's a plexi 100 watt next to it, so I'll try that for you as well. And then I can see there's some Mesomark stuff coming up. This is Jumped. $1970. What have we got drive-wise? I can kick on this, whatever this will be. So that's the plexi ones. Sam, I'll get to yours if you comment those again in a sec. Can you get Robin Ford's tone? I'll have a look in a sec. I don't know how Brother goes, but right. So what have we got here? USA Mark IV. And how's this going to sound? So this should be a Mesa Mark IV. that's the rhythm channel. So we'll lead with the bright. I feel like these are maybe made for humbucker players. So that's the Mark IV. What we got? USA 2C Plus. Yeah. The Cygnus thing hasn't actually come over to the FM3 at the moment. Some people have said that there's a big difference. Myself personally, I felt like it sounds good before, it also sounds good after. It's not necessarily, for people that are plugging in a Fractal for the first time, I think it'll be a similar experience whether you use the Cygnus thing or not. Let's get to some of these presets that Sam said about. Oh, here's actually one of my favourites, probably the AC20s, the Morgan AC20. It's going to sound good, I imagine. So yeah, I think it sounds really cool, some of these. So that one to me sounds really good. What else have we got? So 154, did you say? Here we are. That's a dog. Dog. Sam's suggestion there. Right, hold on. I'm going to look for something. What's this cloud delays one? Layout. Hey Masood, this is a custom shop thingy. Virtual capo, let me just put one on for you. If I change it to pitch, and we'll go down virtual capo, shift down an octave. Yeah, that's pretty playable. Set the mix at 50 so you can get more. Well, two semitones, it'll be weird sounding because you'll hear my actual guitar as well, so it'll be easier to do two semitones. Seems to track really well as well. super playable, I would say, if you're looking for a virtual capo. Oh, cheers, Masood. I don't have a Fender Mustang. Don't have any issue doing stuff with cheaper stuff, but for recording, can the FM3 output a dry signal as well? So you could go in. Yes. So you could set up an output that goes to output 2 or 1, and you could just draw that straight from the in to the out. What about 1 semitone down? It tracks really well anyway, that poly virtual capo thing. Oh wait, so I want... Then what do we want? Sam, I was watching a Rotem Sivan video about arpeggios, and he does this thing where you're playing arpeggios on just 2 notes per string and the inversions and stuff. So this is an A minus 7 flat 5 kind of thing. Too much delay for that. Anyway, right, other presets. What do we want? We wanted to find some Holdsworthy stuff. Anything Allenish? Must be something. Sea of Tranquility, I think that is. Well, it's not exactly particularly useful. No, we'll just go with this then. What noise would drive you crazy? Anyway, where were we? No, I did start at the root earlier on. So start on the 7th there. Oh, that's the battery gone. Give me a second. You're probably getting that noise. Single coils and that, innit? Some modulation-y stuff. CE1 chorus 5, guess that's modulation. Dimension 3. Some sort of flanger or something. Mix 100. Cheers, Steve. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not exactly a modulation person. Right, should we go back to one of my own presets? Those are more fun for me. Where have we got it? Cleans to freeze, I want. There. Nice. It's a good guitar, the Pacifica 612. Well, out of all of those things, my go-to would be the HX Stomp because it's the cheapest way in, probably. So, for £400, I find... Oh, cheers, Adrian. SGD, where is that then? An FM3 or a Helix are roughly similar price-wise. So to work out whether the Helix stuff works for you or not, I would just grab a second-hand HX Stomp or something, or a new one even, and then you'll find out fairly quickly. Watch some videos, and if you don't get on with that, then you're probably not going to get on with a full Helix. So then you can decide, all right, maybe an FM3 might be the way to go. But I feel like there's something in an HX Stomp for everyone anyway, so even if you don't end up using it for everything. If you're getting noisy presets, maybe you need to move away from things like your PC monitor. That's generally the biggest cause of noise for me. And then also, I don't know if you've tried using the gate on the front of your Alright, in which case, something to look at is a lot of the stock settings on the amps, you might have them, the master volume on the amps might be all the way up. So effectively that would be like plugging your pedal in front of a fully cranked amp, which is probably something that I've not really done that before. So I would try taking the master volumes in the amps down to maybe like 3 or 4 to be a bit more like your experience with a real amp, potentially. Personally, I've never been able to crank my amps beyond sort of 3, 4, 5, certainly never kind of 8 and 10, so consider that kind of thing. Yeah, but yeah, in general, pedals are more likely to be the source of noise than the actual HX Stomp, if that makes sense. What's the preset like? Anyway, I'll be back later on. If you haven't liked the video, that would really help if you would. I think it makes it more likely that people see these live streams in the future, if that's something that they're interested in, or you. I'm doing another one at about 3:30 today, kind of doing some jazz stuff. I just wanted to jump on this morning and play through the FM3 a bit and chat to some people. Cleans are clean, no noise, but anything with breakup is super noisy. What pedals are you using? Cheers, Sam. ACW, Victory, Countess, also another overdrive. Yeah, what is the other overdrive? So are you stacking those two? A, E flat, G, A. Yeah. A. Marvel box. So if you're stacking drive pedals into it, and you're on a driven set, you've probably got quite a lot of gain. You could email me and try and send me an example or something. I can try and troubleshoot it for you if you want. What kind of amp are you going into on it? Which delay? Is there any delay on that? I think it... oh, I think it's the ambient stereo and the digital, and then also that's a Nimbus Stratus reverb. Oh wait, so you're going into... So you're going into those pedals, then into an HX Stomp, and then into a Vox. Is that right? Hey Crocky. This is a... If you're plugging from an HX Stomp into a Vox AC4, then you've got like 5 levels of gain happening there, especially if you're using the internal amps. The way that I use the HX Stomp is direct to monitors or direct to headphones, and I don't find things super noisy in that way. This is a Fender Custom Shop 63 overpriced Strat with Josephina pickups, whatever they are. better with extra signals. I guess the price is the noise. Yeah, I guess if you're gain staging it and you've got, you know, a few different gain pedals in front of the stomp, generally you're going to be wanting to use, I would guess, a relatively clean amp or whatever you're going to be using on the HX Stomp. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to get noise. I feel like it's going to be slightly unavoidable. If you keep the drives on the HX Stomps down low, you'll probably be getting better results. But things like the Trainwreck amp, you can take it all the way down to like 0.8 before you actually get a clean tone, depending on what you're playing into it with. And you know, if you're hitting stuff with drive before, you're going to finding it quite difficult to find a clean tone, I'd suggest. Hey Tolga. I don't think the FM3 would be less noisy, if I'm being totally honest. I don't feel like it would be. I think it's sort of just, if anything, I think if we tried that with any devices, I think it would be a recipe for noise, if that makes sense. I don't like to use loads of heavy gating unless I'm using a really high gain tone, but sometimes I end up using a noise gate with the HX Stomp. But yeah, I just think what you're doing potentially would cause noise with anything, so like a Kemper or an FM3 or whatever. Share your reverb and delay settings. What, on the FM3? So the reverb is the Nimbus Stratus, and the time is 22 seconds, pre-delay is 80 milliseconds, size is 80, mix is 10.5, level is 0. How about the cleans and dynamics of the FM3 compared to the HX Stomp? What do I prefer? So the FM3, the Fractal stuff in general, I think has a tendency towards more low-end content, which kind of translates as feel for a lot of people. Or like that trouser moving feeling. Which it is possible to replicate in the Helix with the use of a low shelf EQ. Cheers, Neptune's Gold. If you want to email me, you could. I can try and help out with the noisy stuff. right, I should probably go and practice properly as well. So thank you everyone who stopped by. If you wanted to like and subscribe, you could. If you want to like the video, I think that helps you get notifications if I do this again. There'll be a jazz stream today at about 3:30 if you wanted to stop by for that. And we could also continue talking about whatever you want to talk about. It's just like this kind of informal thing again. But hopefully, I don't know, you enjoyed some of the tones from the FM3. As I say, I've had it for about a year now, so I just wanted to give it a little bit of a play and just play it a bit. So I'll catch you all in another video soon, and cheers. Oh, you can get my FM3 presets using the Buy Me a Coffee link if you want them. That wouldn't really be necessary though. Catch you in a little bit.